micellar water. And the purpose of me doing this is to cleanse her face from every form of dirt or oils that may have accumulated, and just generally provide a clean and smooth base for your makeup. You don't necessarily have to use this type. You can use any form of micellar water that you know will do you justice. So the next step I do is to humidify her face, and I'll be using this mist humidifier, and the purpose of this is actually to hydrate her face and to prevent dryness. And this is because Shimley has a very dry skin, so everything I do right now is actually to moisturize her face. Next up is my TM Essentials Dew Glow, and this product is an amazing buy. I am so happy I got this because the glow it gives you when you apply it's amazing. So I'll be moisturizing her face using the Mismatics Moisture Bomb Moisturizer, and this moisturizer is 100 out of 10. It gives you the exact moisture you need, and this moisturizer is not oily. It just gives you that glowy finish that you need, but at the same time it moisturizes your face. It has like a 2-in-1 package. It's an amazing buy, and I really advise anyone looking for a good moisturizer to get this. For my skin prep, I actually use both brushes and my hands. I first use brushes to apply the product to make sure it's at least it gets evenly distributed around the skin, and then I go in with my hand to now massage it into her skin to give it a more natural finish, and for the product to actually penetrate into her skin, giving that natural like glow like finish if you get what I mean. But yes, I just don't use brushes alone, but I use my hands. Next up, I'll be using this Mismatics Aqua Grip primer, and this primer is just an amazing one. It's actually a hydrating primer that creates a moisturized matte barrier finish for smooth makeup application. It also grips onto and extends the wear of the makeup, and I apply this makeup everywhere on the face, emphasizing on the T-zones, which includes the forehead, the area around your nose, the area beneath your nose, and your chin. But if your skin is dry, please always use a moisturizing primer. So next up, I use my classic mattifying primer, and this is to blot out every oily place that I can find on her skin. And this is done to prevent this oil from leaking out after your whole makeup is done, so it locks everything inside after you apply the primer. And I apply it again on the T-zone because that is where oil is more predominant on your face. So the next thing I do is to color correct her face. In color correcting her face, I'll be using this Adventure Pro concealer in the shade 03 Karachi. And when color correcting, you are focusing on the darkest areas on the face, and in Shimleri's case, this was the areas around her eyes. So the next thing I'll be doing is her foundation, and for her I'll be using 3 shades, which is Revlon in 425, 405, and Adventure in the shade Porcelain. And I'll be using my Zoeva face paint brush, and I use this brush to evenly apply the foundation everywhere before going in my beauty blender. And in using the beauty blender, I do this in like a dab and drag motion, but I'll be dropping videos on how to actually apply foundations properly, so please stay tuned. So after applying my foundation, I go in with my contour. I cannot remember the contour I used for her, but in using a contour, you're meant to use a shade that is at least 2 shades darker than you, and this is actually done to add warmth to her face and also to give her face more structure. And I'll be going in with the concealer, and I'll be using the Revolution Pro Full Cover Camouflage Concealer. And this concealer, as the name implies, it is a full coverage, meaning that a small application covers a lot. Sadly, I couldn't video that part. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to set her face using a pressed powder. And in setting her face, I focus on the areas that I applied the concealer to in order to make the concealer stay in one place, to set it in place. You can also use a setting powder for this. That's actually the ideal one to use, but in her case, I couldn't because the powder I had just wasn't giving me what I wanted, so I had to go for the pressed powder. And as you can see, I'm pressing the powder into her skin in order to secure the concealer to prevent it from creasing. Next up is her brows, and I would be setting her brows in place using a gel. And I do this in order to make it easier for me to draw her brows. And the next thing I do is actually to set her brows in place, and I do this using the Blossom Makeup setting powder in the shade Honey. However, because of time, I had to cut out the part where I drew her brows, but in my consequent videos I will show you the step-to-step ways I draw my brows. And now I'm doing her eyeshadow. Right now I am creating a base for her. At this point I didn't know what shade to use, and I ended up concluding that I'll use a bright color to just bring out her eyes because she's wearing a white dress. So I was like, you know what, let's just go for a brighter color. So I ended up using a pink shade for her crease. Then I added glitter to it to make it pop out. And this was the final result. She loved it, I loved it, her friends loved it, we all loved it, and I was just so proud of myself because this was actually the first time I had created this type of look. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and you actually learned a lot.